Hi, it's AJ, and welcome. You are now a permanent member of the VIP program. Yeah! Congratulations! I'm so happy to have you. So, here is your next lesson set. And, of course, right now, this is your video lesson for the next lesson. So, in this video lesson, I'm going to talk. And I want to teach you something that's very simple, but very important. Now, so often, the most important things are simple. Simple, but not necessarily easy. And the problem is, a lot of us know some of these things, but we don't do them. So you need to hear them again and again, and I will be telling you something that you might know already, but maybe you're not doing it, or maybe you're not doing it in every part of your life. So I want you to think about this today, what I teach you, and then use it and do it. If you don't use it, if you don't do it, nothing happens. Just listening is not enough when it comes to being more confident and being a better leader. You actually have to do things. You have to take action. So, today's topic is the comfort zone. The comfort zone. What is that? That's a common phrase in English, the comfort zone. And when we talk about our comfort zone, it means the places, the people, the things that we feel comfortable with or comfortable doing. So for example, right now, teaching an English class, that is in my comfort zone. Because, you know, I'm comfortable doing that. I have done it many times. So I'm not nervous about teaching an English class. I'm not shy about teaching an English class. So that's in my comfort zone. It means it's comfortable for me to do that. However, teaching a business seminar is not in my comfort zone. I have never done it. I have some business lessons that I recorded, but I've never stood in front of a large group of people and taught business before. It's not in my comfort zone. If I did that, I would probably feel nervous, maybe a little shy, especially in the beginning. I know business, I feel confident in my own business ability, but teaching it to other people, you know, I don't know, I might feel a little uncomfortable about doing that. Just because I've never done it before. So you can see that. Now we have social situations that can be in our comfort zone or not in our comfort zone. So we like to be around certain people. And we're comfortable being around a certain kind of person. Someone around about the same education level as us. Maybe someone from our same culture as us. Someone who has the same interests as us. We feel comfortable with those people. We understand them. We think they understand us. They are in our comfort zone. But there are also people outside our comfort zone. You know, maybe, for example, people who are very rich and successful. If you're not rich and successful, very rich and successful, then maybe you might feel nervous relaxing with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett and all these super rich people. If you met them the first time, maybe you would feel a little nervous. They're not in your comfort zone, right? They are outside the comfort zone. So, you know, maybe I would feel that way. I don't know. I don't usually feel so nervous around rich people, actually. I don't know why, but I don't. But, you know, some people feel the opposite. They maybe have a good education. They have some money. For example, my father, I think, is like this. But he's uncomfortable around very poor people, maybe around homeless people. He might feel uncomfortable. They are not in his comfort zone. Again, for me, that's no problem. I used to be a social worker. I worked with homeless people all the time, so maybe because, you know, I worked in an emergency room in a hospital for a while, and I saw all kinds of people, and of course they were all having different kinds of emergencies, so I kind of learned to relax about all of that. But you know, there are certain situations outside my comfort zone. I mentioned teaching business to a group of people, for example. So we all have this, right? We all have a comfort zone, what we are used to, what we normally do each day, the people we normally talk to, the situations we feel comfortable in, the actions we usually do or take, right? We all have this. And, you know, that's good. It's fine. It's good to feel comfortable. Because when you feel comfortable, you also feel more confident, right? If you are in your comfort zone, you usually feel confident. You know what's going to happen. You know what to do. You know you can do what you need to do. But here is the problem. If we want to grow, if we want to be better leaders, if we want more success in our lives, if we want more confidence in more situations, we must go outside our comfort zone. We must push outside our comfort zone. In other words, to grow, we must be uncomfortable. If you are growing, you are uncomfortable, I promise you. Let me give you a story from my own life, and then I will recommend some steps for you. So in my own life, many years ago, let me think, 41 now, 31, I don't know, about 15, almost 20 years ago actually, I was very shy about speaking to a group of people. Very, very nervous to speak in front of a group of people. I got very, very scared, uncomfortable, shy, and nervous about speaking to people. Really, really, really did not like it. I was very uncomfortable. It was outside my comfort zone. So at that time in my life, I had two choices. I could remain comfortable, but never grow. Meaning, I would never learn how to speak to a group of people. I could just do what felt safe, what felt comfortable always, and if I had done that, today I still would not speak to large groups of people. So I decided, however, that I want to speak to people. I want to feel more confident when I speak, and if I could speak to a large group of people, that would help. I would really have a lot more confidence, and it would help me have more success in my life. Because I knew to be a leader, to be more successful, at some time, I had to speak in front of people. So now, what did I do? Did I immediately go and speak in front of 100 people? No, of course not, right? That would have been too much. So to grow, we must be uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable, right? We want to be a little uncomfortable, not terrified, okay? Not super, super, super stressed, okay? So I knew I needed to take small steps. I knew that I needed to become a little uncomfortable and then grow a little bit and then become a little more uncomfortable and then grow a little bit more, and that's the process. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did is that I joined a public speaking course by the Dale Carnegie Company, and it was excellent. And let me tell you a little bit about what they did. How did they teach us? On the first day of the class, do you think they made us come up alone, stand in front of the group, and give a speech? No, of course not, right? That would be too much. That would be more than uncomfortable. That would be terrifying for a lot of people. Certainly for me, that would have scared me a lot. So you know what they did? And I thought this was a great idea. What they did is they let us come up in small groups. So 5 people came to the front of the class at the same time. So you were not alone. You're standing with 4 other people. And then you introduced yourself. You just said, "Hi, my name is AJ. I want to learn to speak better. Thank you. I look forward to this class." Just something very short. And then the person next to me, they introduced themselves, and everybody in the little small group would introduce themselves to the whole group. Now this was a small step, right? It was a little uncomfortable. I still felt a little nervous about that. But I was not terrified because I had other people, and it was very short, and it was easy. Just say my name and where I was from, and that's about all. So that was great. What did they do? They helped us become a little uncomfortable, do something a little uncomfortable, but not too much. So then what did we do next? Well, next we had to do a little speech in front of small groups. This was the next week. So they divided the class into small groups, maybe 10 people in each group. And the next week, we had to stand up alone this time, alone. But we stood up, and then we just, again, we told a short story about ourselves. It was like 1 minute or something, very, very short. And not to the whole class, just to a small group of 10 people. So again, I felt nervous about that. It was not easy. But I was not terrified. It was uncomfortable, but not terrifying. So I felt a little more confident after that, right? Oh, I did that. Yeah, I was nervous, and I made some mistakes, but it was not terrible. So then what did they do the next time? Well, the next time they taught us a little speech formula for a 3-minute speech. And what did we do? We just told a story about our own life. We did not memorize something. We told a story about our life, something we already knew very, very well. And we had to get up in front of the whole class the next time and tell our story. Now, I was quite nervous about this, but again, the good thing, it was very short, just 3 minutes, and it was about a topic I knew very well. I could choose any topic I wanted, just any story about my life from my past. So I was like, okay, well that's easy. I don't need to memorize something. I can just tell my own story, and it's very short. And so, guess what? I did it. I was nervous at the end, oh my God, but I did it, and I felt better. And here's another secret. At the end of my speech, the teacher did not talk about my mistakes. Not one time, never. In fact, at the Dale Carnegie class, they never correct mistakes. Never. What did he do instead? The teacher, he caught me doing something right. We've already talked about this, right? What did he do? He focused on the things I did well. He gave me real, sincere compliments. He said, AJ, you were very energetic. You had a lot of energy when you were speaking. That was great. And I liked your story. Your story was very interesting. So he told me 2 or 3 specific good things that I did. Did I make mistakes in that first speech? Of course I did. Yes, I did. I made a lot of mistakes. I was nervous. But he didn't talk about the mistakes. He only talked about the good things. Guess what happened? I felt better. I felt a little more confident. When I heard him tell me these good things, I felt a little more comfortable. Oh, okay. And I started to think, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can improve. So now you understand the process, right? Of course, each week we did a little bit more, a little more. Every week the teacher only told us good things. So what happened? I became more and more and more confident. Now, this might not surprise you, but one thing the teacher always told me was, AJ, you have a lot of energy. AJ, you have a lot of enthusiasm. That's great. I love that. So guess what happened? I began to hear this every week, and I began to think in my mind, oh, I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of enthusiasm. I am an energetic speaker. I am an enthusiastic speaker. Right? This was repeated to me again and again, and so what happened? I became more energetic and more enthusiastic every week. Yes, every week I was a little uncomfortable still, but my confidence began to grow more and more and more. And in my mind, I became more comfortable and more confident. But every week I had to do a little more. I had to become a little bit uncomfortable. Because if I stopped, if I became comfortable and then I stopped again, I would stop growing. So always I had to push a little more, push a little more, a little uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable. And so I have continued to do this now every year, year after year. When I became a teacher, I did this. In the beginning, I was nervous about teaching English. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I used textbooks, and that wasn't working. So I started to try new lessons, new techniques. I was a little nervous about it. And especially sometimes the new lessons failed. The students hated them, and they didn't work. Okay? And I felt bad on those days. I felt very uncomfortable. But I decided, what most teachers do is they do the same thing again and again and again. They use the textbooks because they're safe and comfortable. They do what other teachers do because it's safe and it's comfortable. The students expect that. The other teachers do the same thing. It doesn't work very well. It's not powerful, but it is comfortable and it is safe. That's why most teachers really never grow very much. They don't improve very much. After 10 years, they are still doing the same thing. After 20 years of teaching, they're doing the same thing. It's because they want to be comfortable instead of growing. So, of course, now, I love it. I love to stand in front of a group of people. I love to give speeches. Now, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm excited about speaking to a group of people. Very excited. I love it. I get more energy, more enthusiasm. It's like a rock concert for me. I love to do it. It's very, very exciting. But of course, if I stop here, if I just do the same thing and be comfortable, I'll stop growing. So you know what? Guess what I have to do? I have to push myself more to grow and to be uncomfortable again. So now I'm trying to do bigger workshops and bigger seminars. And I'm trying to do new things in the seminars, new things in the workshops. Try a new technique, try a new method, try a new lesson. Try some new, fun, crazy activity. And that makes me a little uncomfortable again because I have never done it. Maybe the students will hate it. Maybe they'll laugh at me. All these crazy ideas in our head we get worried about and we're afraid. But that's okay. That fear is not a bad thing. Being nervous is not bad. It's actually a good sign. It means you're a little uncomfortable, which means you're growing. Okay, so that's my story, right? That's how I went from being shy to being a very confident, energetic speaker who absolutely loves to speak to groups of people. What does this mean for you? Well, this is both a good and a challenging message for you. What it means is you cannot be comfortable all the time. So maybe you joined the VIP program thinking it's going to be a lot of fun and great and learn all these positive things. And that's true. But guess what? I have to be honest with you. If you really want to improve, if you really want to be a super confident English speaker, if you really want to be very successful in all parts of your life, if you really want to help other people and be a great leader, you can't be comfortable all the time. You are going to have to feel nervous sometimes. You must feel a little shy sometimes. You must be afraid a little bit sometimes. It's necessary for growing. If you're not a little bit afraid sometimes, if you're not a little shy, if you're not a little nervous, you are not growing. So what does that mean? It means you need to push a little more. You have to go outside your comfort zone. Do something that's a little bit uncomfortable. So let's get specific, step by step. Let me give you some examples. For some of you, writing on the forums makes you feel shy or nervous. You're a little afraid to do it, right? On the VIP social site or on our general member forums, either one. A lot of you have not written anything. And I understand, I know why. You feel nervous. You're afraid. Maybe I'll make a mistake. Maybe you're thinking my English writing is so bad. And I make mistakes all the time. And that makes you afraid. And you put something there and the English is bad. Maybe you're afraid people will say something bad, or you just feel embarrassed. You feel uncomfortable about doing it. Well, you need to do it anyway. If you want to grow, if you want to become more successful, more confident, you must do what is uncomfortable. For a lot of you, that means you need to get on the forums or on the VIP site and you need to start writing every week, every day, or maybe just one time in the beginning. You need to write something. And the first time you will feel a little nervous. Yeah, it's okay. That's a good sign, not a bad sign. Some people think being nervous is bad, or some people think fear is a bad thing or a bad sign. It's not. It's a good sign. It's a sign that you are growing. You feel the fear, you feel nervous, but then you still take action. A small action is fine, but you must take some kind of action that makes you feel uncomfortable. So that's the first thing I recommend. Write on the forums, write on the VIP site, introduce yourself, tell us what you are doing that's interesting, or tell us what you're afraid of, tell us what you're nervous about. Just share something honest with us. I promise you, our VIP members are special, you are special, and people are going to be very nice to you. Just like my speech teacher, we're going to tell you good things. But first, you must take your small step and be a little uncomfortable, okay? So that's the first thing you can do, is you can start writing on the forums. Do it one time. If you have done it one time, then you need to do it again. You need to do it more often. Some of you, that's your step. Okay, maybe you already did it one time, but then you didn't do it again. You felt a little uncomfortable still. So maybe for you, you need to do it every week, once a week. Write something on the VIP site or the forums. Maybe you need to do it more often. You need to do it once every day. That makes you feel a little uncomfortable, but it will help you grow. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. That's your first homework, I guess, to push outside your comfort zone. Do something a little uncomfortable. Now here's another thing you can do that might feel uncomfortable. You can start to show your appreciation and gratitude for other people. Again, you can do this in your life, with anyone in your life, but you can also do this in our club, on the forums, on the VIP site. So first, maybe you write about yourself. That feels a little uncomfortable. But after you do it for a while, you start to feel better. You feel more confident, more comfortable each time. So next, you have to push a little more. So maybe next, you write to some other person and you say, "Thank you for doing this. I think you are a very nice person," or "I think you're a very intelligent person." And you write a sincere compliment to that person. You tell them why you appreciate them. Now, for some people, that's not uncomfortable. That's easy to do. But for a lot of people, that makes you feel uncomfortable. That means you need to do it. Okay? You got to keep pushing, 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 always pushing a little bit. You know, this is what successful people do. Successful people do things that other people don't. Normal people avoid feeling nervous. Normal people avoid fear. Normal people avoid feeling uncomfortable. They don't like those feelings. They avoid doing things that make them feel those emotions. That's what normal people do. That's why normal people don't grow very much. That's why normal people have average success. That's why normal people are not leaders. I mean, that's the simple truth. What do successful people do that's different? What do leaders do that's different? They do things that are uncomfortable consistently. Every day they do something that makes them feel a little uncomfortable, that makes them feel a little nervous, that makes them feel a little bit afraid. Pick any great successful person. You know, talk about Tony Robbins, for example. He wasn't always super confident. Okay, he was, at some point in his life, he felt fear too, but every day he pushed himself to feel uncomfortable, to do something a little new, a little different, a little difficult. And each day he did that. Every week he did that. Every month he did that. And that's why he has this incredible success now. Any successful person, they did this. Pick a sports person. Tiger Woods was not always a great golfer. At some time in his life, he was terrible. And he probably felt frustrated many times. He probably felt angry many times. Maybe he felt embarrassed many times. But he continued to keep pushing and practicing. He did not quit. And he did not just stop and feel comfortable. He's always pushing. He's still doing it. So, this is a very simple message, but it's so, so important, and I hope you realize it, because what happens is a lot of people will listen to these lessons, and they say, oh, that's a great idea. AJ, you're so positive. That's great. And they like the ideas, but they forget the final step. They don't take action because they are afraid a little bit, nervous a little bit, or uncomfortable. They think it should always feel easy and always feel comfortable, but that's not true. It's not true at all. You know, I'm uncomfortable with this VIP program. When I started it, I'll be honest with you, I felt nervous. I still feel a little nervous about it. You know, why? Because you are very special. You are not normal people. I know that you want something special from me. I know you expect me to give you, great teaching and great ideas and to give you all of my energy and passion. And I feel nervous about it sometimes. I realize, okay, AJ, you must do a good job. You must really push and do a great job for these VIPs. So I felt nervous about it. I felt a little uncomfortable about it. And we've had some problems. We've had computer problems with different computer errors. And there was some confusion about the payment process. And of course I felt bad about that. I felt uncomfortable about that. So should I stop? A lot of people would just stop and quit or just do the same old thing. But I know I can't do that. I want to continue to grow. So, I feel uncomfortable, I feel nervous, I feel frustrated sometimes, but I keep pushing and I say, AJ, you must do it anyway. If you want to grow, you must feel this. Sometimes you'll feel frustrated, sometimes you'll feel uncomfortable. In fact, it's required. Okay, so that's it. I've said this about 10 different ways because it's so, so important. So here's the message for you, the final message. You know what to do now. You already have some lessons from me about gratitude and appreciation, about catching other people doing the right thing or doing good things, about writing on the forums, about writing on the VIP site, about doing just the best you can. You don't need to be perfect. You already have these great ideas, this great information. Now you must actually do something. If you only think about it, you will not grow more confident. You will not become more successful. You will not become a leader. You must take this final step. It's vital. It is so important. You must push outside your comfort zone a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit every day, every week, every month, every year, all of your life, in fact. That is the #1 secret for success in everything. So that's what I challenge you to do right now, today. After you watch this video, turn it off, and immediately I want you to go to the forums, either the VIP site or the general forums or both, and I want you to write something. Something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So maybe you give a compliment to somebody. Maybe you ask a question you never asked before. Maybe you write a long story about your own life. Maybe you write about your fears or what you're nervous about. Or maybe, if this is your first time, you just write something short. And don't worry about the mistakes. Don't spend 2 hours writing it. Write it quickly and submit it, and it's okay if you have mistakes. Just do the best you can. So that's what I want you to do. Go outside your comfort zone today, and then you do it again tomorrow, and you do it the next day, and you continue to do it every single day. Do this, and I promise you, you will become a super confident English speaker. You will have amazing success in your life, more than you ever dreamed was possible, I promise you. And you will become a truly great leader for your family, your friends, your job, your work, in all of your life. Okay, thank you so much. Push outside your comfort zone today. Do something to grow that feels a little uncomfortable, but that will make you grow. I will see you again. Thank you so much. You are so special to me because you are a VIP member. I will see you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.